And here we are with our New Earth Conversation series about helping humanity heal. What is that beautiful path to a healed humanity? And I get to actually interview one of my friends, which is so awesome. Her name is Adria Estribou. Ooh. And she is truly an angelic channel. She's an open door. She can hear and really connect with the angels. Close to my heart is the angelic realms and how precious all of that light really is. And you'll find as you hear Adria speak that that's what you'll experience too. Be open in your heart to feel the angelic presence around you. Everyone has angelic presence around them, and Adria is this wonderful example of somebody who has been able to get out of the way to be able to speak very clearly and give us the information from these wonderful beings, these friends of ours who've been on this journey to help humanity heal. And so welcome, Adria. I'm so excited to get to interview you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm so delighted to be here and just sparkling with, I don't know what's happening, what's about to happen. I always feel that way before the angels speak through me because I don't know in a mental sense, what they're going to say, which takes a lot of trust, but also is ultimately more relaxing because I'm not in charge. I don't have to know anything. Like you said, my job is to get out of the way. I was just
Oh
thinking
yeah,
this morning,
exactly.
it's so funny. I was like, is it really like my job description is I talk with angels. Like that's literally what I do for a living. It's so bizarre and wonderful. So I'm delighted to be here with you and to be a conduit for angelic grace and understanding for us to come through.
And that's what it is. It's grace. It's grace. It's understanding. And I think that leads us to try to understand where we're at as a collective, as a species at the moment. We have this beautiful species, the angels, who've had our backs the whole time, this whole experiment on Earth. They've been with us the whole time. They know us probably better than most beings out there in the universe know humans. They know us better than anyone, really. And they've been our friends. And that's why they're here, is to help us. And the topic they had brought up for us through you was the mind. And so, what would you, Adria, and the angels like to share about what's happening to the human mind right now? Why does it feel so difficult to be human mentally at the moment?
Yeah. Let me start with yeah, something you said about the angels just sparked in me. Like, wow, do they love us? They're such an example for me because they live it. It's not a face they put on of unconditional love and non-judgment. So as they talk about what's going on for humanity right now, and many people, I'm sure some of your guests have talked about this kind of split between third and fifth dimension, or people choosing to ascend or kind of stay where we are. And I had this sort of spiritual sense about that years ago, like, well, of course it's better to move higher and, lower means lower kind of thing in a judgmental way, but the angels are so beautiful about it. They really just say, isn't it wonderful that people have a choice and the expression of free will to them? That's beautiful to see. Some people really want to be in this third dimensional experience and keep learning that way, and some people want to move into fifth and higher dimensions, and that to them it's just important that we have free will in that. And I've never heard just even a shred of judgment from them about, but these are the really special people who are more spiritual, moving higher. There's none of that. It's just they do feel very strongly, from what I can hear in their words, that we should have free will, that we should have sovereignty over our own choices. So what's happening now, and hopefully they'll speak more directly about this, but on a humanity-wide level, what's happening now is there are beings, as I've come to understand, that are trying to control us, trying to control humanity through the mind. So some forms of hypnosis, mass messaging, mind control, and it's very subtle. So I can tell you what it feels like to me as someone who's empathic and very human in this earth. I will wake up and just feel like, wait a minute, like what's going on? It will feel so heavy some days. And then it's this sifting through and discernment of, is that me? Is that my mind? Or is it something like literally the way I've come to perceive it is, it's almost like if someone had a megaphone in your ear, like be depressed, be very depressed, you should be afraid today. It's learning to recognize, oh, that's not my voice. That's someone or something else telling me to be afraid, to be depressed, to feel like, what's the point? And sometimes there's a clue for me. The voice will just seem different than mine, like it's sarcastic or it's different. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not how I think. That's not a normal thought for me. So you could come to learn these clues, but basically the problem is when we don't know that there's a voice or trying to supplement, pretend to be our own thinking. Because if you're having a conversation with someone who's very negative and it's a person sitting there in your living room, and then you can have a choice. Oh, yeah, they're sparking some fear and I believe in that and I want to feel afraid about that circumstance in the world. And you're consciously choosing that or unconsciously. Anyway, you're aware it's because this person said this thing to you. But if it's happening in the background, that's a problem, I think, from my judgment on it, and from the angels rarely speak forcefully, I would say, but on this topic, they've been quite forceful. That, hypnosis is not okay, mass messaging is something to be wary of. So I think that's the topic they wanted to bring to mind, mostly so that we can be aware of it, because it's not that it's stronger than we are. It's not that it overpowers us, but if you're not aware, it's not even your own thought. Oh, I'm so depressed. What's the point of living? And then you respond and react as if that's how you feel about your life. And that's very different than if there's a friend of yours or an enemy of yours, whoever in the living room, that says, you should feel really depressed about your life. You should probably not live anymore. What's the point? Then you could laugh at them or be like, oh, I should. You could have a dialogue about it, but at least it's not coming from you. So that, I think, is the essence of where the discernment comes. And,
I like that. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to validate that too, because this is very real. This is technologically real. It's not only physical tech, it's mystical tech. And that there are generators of fear that are created simply to keep people feeling suppressed, oppressed, depressed. And that is what we're really talking about, that so many people you and I have worked with, that oppression is real. And it draws upon deep fears. It creates thoughts and patterns and feelings that are not yours. It creates confusion, all of which are the point. And so we want to validate anyone out there who says, wow, that I live that every day. You're not alone. Every single one of us, Adria and I included, have had that experience. We are lucky to be mystics and to know that this is a mystical path we're on, that those challenges and those issues that are so painful are there for learning, and that we're here to access all these dimensions. If we are willing, if we want to learn from that, we can. But I think it's really important that the angelic are representing that non-judgment, that, hey, everybody's exactly where they need to be, where their greatest learning is going to be. So we can all sigh a big breath of relief, like, okay, I am where I'm supposed to be right now. Even if it is feeling depressed and suicidal in that moment, that is something that your soul is in so that it can discover it fully. And that's part of this path to healing, I think, is to allow ourselves to feel that non-judgment. And thank you, Adria. It was very apparent. It comes through the non-judgment, the true love the angels have for us.
Yes, I think I see that the most and what the angels share. It's not so much that they give advice to, oh, if you only changed your circumstance or if you were only better. I have never heard them say that. If you only tried harder, if you were, that's the that's the narrative from human kind. If you only tried harder, you get. I have never heard them say anything like that. It's always just this love of, isn't it amazing? Look at this lesson that you called into your life to learn, or look at the opportunity here. It's so sweet. I really feel blessed to take in their viewpoint on us.